This is Pablo Escobar. During the 1990s, his Medellín cartel drove the city's homicide rate so high it was widely considered the murder capital of the world. The city's recovery was built on infrastructure like these metro cable lines. They physically integrated the impoverished hillside slums into the economic center, providing residents with mobility and access to jobs for the first time. This aerial view of downtown shows the results of that rebranding. In 2013, the Urban Land Institute named Medellín the world's most innovative city, establishing it as a primary destination for the global digital nomad community. This success story became the dominant global narrative. For over a decade, Medellín was presented as a city that had replaced its history of cartel violence with a thriving tourism sector. Parallel to the city's legitimate growth, a highly coordinated underground network began to integrate with the new hospitality infrastructure. This integration has become so pervasive that local critics now claim that if you were to place a roof over modern Medellín, it would resemble the largest brothel in the world. The tourism boom intended to stabilize the city became the catalyst for a different kind of industry, making Medellín the new capital of sex tourism for the entire continent. The operational side of this industry relies on a specific detail of Colombian law. Adult prostitution is legal. This regulation provides a framework that allows illicit operations to function alongside legitimate businesses. Instead of the high-risk work of exporting cocaine to foreign markets, syndicates began importing customers directly to Colombia. These groups utilize the city's new housing infrastructure, turning luxury apartments into unregulated sites for private parties and trafficking. Online content frequently promotes this market. Social media influencers highlight districts like Provenza, depicting a landscape where foreign currency allows for a consequence-free experience. The cartels didn't disappear after the 1990s. They adapted to a corporate model. They leveraged the city's legitimate infrastructure to build a highly profitable, domestic-facing empire. This entire market is driven by a stark economic disparity. $1,000 spent by a traveler might be a weekend's entertainment, but in Medellín, that same amount represents months of local wages. The collapse of the neighboring Venezuelan economy drove millions of refugees across the border into Colombia. Many arrived with no financial support, desperate for survival. Recruiters approach these migrants with offers of waitressing or hospitality work. Once hired, many are coerced into sex work and forced into drug dependency to prevent them from leaving the network. The scale is measurable. Reports indicate that approximately 80% of the women working in this specific sector are Venezuelan migrants living in extreme poverty. The city's financial recovery is, in part, being sustained by the systemic exploitation of a displaced population that has no other means of survival. As the adult market expanded, demand began shifting toward more extreme requests. Syndicates started receiving specific inquiries for virgins and underage girls. To fulfill these requests, gangs target girls as young as 10. They use hormonal injections and medication to accelerate physical development, making the children appear older to avoid immediate detection. In the most impoverished neighborhoods, criminal networks hold auctions for these girls. They offer families lump sums that often exceed their total annual income, using extreme poverty as a recruitment tool. This constant flow of foreign money has normalized a culture where children are treated as marketable goods rather than people. In early 2024, an American citizen was discovered in a hotel with 2 young minors. When he was released after paying only a fine, the city saw mass protests, with citizens painting demands for justice directly onto the streets. The mayor of Medellín responded by temporarily suspending the sex trade in popular tourist zones like El Poblado, increasing police surveillance, and enforcing earlier closing times for clubs. This crackdown faced immediate resistance from the hospitality sector. Hotel and bar owners argued that these restrictions would lead to widespread bankruptcy, as their revenues were now tied to this specific tourist demographic. Medellín successfully transitioned away from the violence of the cartel era, but the new economy is now structurally dependent on exploitation. Addressing the crisis requires challenging the very tourism growth that funded the city's recovery.